All right, I'm gonna play an interview that they did with a managing director over at Citi that's talking about AMC. I'm gonna interrupt this interview every now and then just to put my thoughts on it. But let's begin. Okay, now let's go here.
Levels. Here to break this date down, resuming coverage in AMC with a sell rating, noting its common equity is overvalued at prevailing levels. Here to break this date down, the meme trade is Jason Bazinet, Citi Managing Director. Jason, good to have you. So here we have you resuming coverage with a sell rating and a $1.60 price target. So talk about that breakdown and what you're looking at in terms of how AMC can really reduce leverage.
Well, there's really two narratives that are going on, both related to COVID. The first is, AMC had to take on a lot of debt during COVID because people were going to the movie theater, and they're recovering from that. The second narrative that's linked to COVID is AMC became a meme stock. And so when everyone was, sitting at home and sitting with their stimulus checks, this became one of the darlings. And the equity got very overvalued. And what the company is trying to do right now is essentially take its two classes of shares, the common shares and what are called the APE units, and combine that into a single class. There's some legal challenges around that. But the real question for shareholders is, A, will they be able to combine it into a single class? And then B, what is the new share price going to be if they are able to combine it into a single class? Is it going to be the higher share price, AMC's common stock, valued at $4.40 a share, or is it the APE units that are valued about one-third as much? That's going to be the key question. If we end up with a lower, I'll call it a pro forma share price, then AMC is going to have to issue quite a few shares to pay out that debt. If they're lucky and they can raise capital with a higher common price of $4.40, then there'll be less dilution to pay down the debt. So those are the two things: the court case, and then what is the ultimate equity value where they're going to be able to raise capital.
Let me stop this motherfucker before I punch my phone. Okay, let's be real. All that debt the AMC took, they didn't have to take it. They took it because they wanted the cash. And at the end of the day, how do they pay off that debt? Dropping the stock. Now, as far as this fucking, who the fuck this guy is, I don't know. He's probably a nice guy. I don't know. But at the end of the day, as far as like the reality of his price target for AMC, nobody fucking knows at the end when the merger and stuff, everything goes down, where it's going to be at. But conveniently, they're leaving out the fact that this is like the most heavily shorted stock. They're leaving the incredible cost to borrow. He's leaving out the whole chicken apocalypse factor that's there. And the thing that kills me, I just drank some coffee. It's like, I drank it way too fast. The thing that kills me, and I had to comment on this fucking thing, is that when they say the word meme stock, they just say it like derogatory, like, it becomes a meme stock, it's overvalued. AMC could have, the executive team could have taken advantage of that at a much higher price and wiped out their debt. They didn't do that. We know why. Whatever. Now you know. Now you're on Team Lou. You know exactly about what those motherfuckers are. As far as him saying, where's it going to land? Is it going to be more towards the 8 or more Listen, let me tell you something. If we have a run in AMC before the fucking judge on the 27, everybody's going to break the fuck out. AMC could go down to fucking 20 cents for all I give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if this thing melts. Let's continue with this guy.
And another factor is going to be obviously the box office recovery. Talk about your outlook there and how that affects AMC.
Yeah, I'm pretty humble, when it comes to forecasting the box office. So we just rely on HSX, which is almost like the wisdom of crowds, and just build our numbers up. What it suggests is we're going to see a pretty decent recovery sequentially.
Let me just stop this motherfucker. Look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much fucking money AMC takes in at the box office. They fucking spend money like a drunk sailor, okay? Unless they start doing some massive cost-cutting type operations, that the fucking thing bleeds money out. And the movie theaters look like fucking zombies are gonna walk out of it. We don't give a fuck about the box office stuff, because we've had great box office numbers that didn't do shit. Why? Because Popcorn and Company dropped a bunch of other shares, whatever. Now, you notice so far they're not talking about anything to do with the fact that, retail's gone on the other side, and they still got these motherfuckers. Okay, they don't talk about that. Let me just continue. Let me stay calm here, this motherfucker. He's probably a nice guy.
2023, up about 25%, but we're still going to be a couple $1 billion below the 2019 box office number. And that's just based on what HSX is saying the various movies will do. And it's been a pretty good barometer to gauge box office expectations. So a little over $9 billion this year versus the $11 billion, which is sort of a more typical pre-COVID box office figure.
You'll see
this does tend to be the year of efficiency, as Mark Zuckerberg coined it. But I want to talk about leadership. Talk about how you see the leadership in AMC with its CEO.
Well, they've done a fantastic job. I can't think of a company that's been dealt a more difficult hand than AMC was.
The fuck out of here.
Essentially went to zero for really, reasons that were outside their control. They very definitely sort of managed this entire process by, issuing those 8 units, trying to get it into a single class, and then trying to take advantage of what I would argue is an equity value that's too high to try and get their debt back under control. So they've done a very, very good job under very difficult circumstances.
I gotta stop this motherfucker. Difficult job? These motherfuckers make it sound like they were rescuing fucking Christians from hell. Like at the end of the day, they didn't do a fucking thing. We bought the stock. We bumped them up. We went to the movie theaters. Not me, I didn't go to the fucking movie theaters. But you went to the movie theaters. That we fucking made it possible. Then they created 8 to fuck us over. His allegiance is to popcorn. Remember, Citigroup was the one that was, I think, managing or distributing or creating 8, whatever. At the end of the day, if anybody wanted to, because I got some emails about this. Look, they're in line with the whole popcorn and fuck these motherfuckers. If I didn't pay so much money for this phone, I would have fucking punched it by now. Look, fuck these motherfuckers. Let's just try to fucking get the chicken apocalypse going. Let's get some margin calls on some of the little D's. Let's make our fucking money because it's high cost to borrow, and maybe Deutsche Bank is gonna cough up blood this weekend. That's what we need. Fuck, I gotta. It's probably a nice guy. I can't. I fucking had one of those nights tonight. Fucking guy looks like John Lennon's son. God bless him. I just can't. They were dealt a horrible hand. What fucking horrible hand? Every fucking body's business went to zero. The airline, the cruise ships, everything. And everybody went fucking, they did some great shit. Look at what fucking GameStop went through. GameStop, who the fuck was playing Pac-Man? Nobody. And at the end of the day, even though they fucked up, they went through a lot of shit, they got mauled and fucking Robin Hood, whatever. At the end of the day, now slowly but surely trying to climb out of it. Popcorn is looking to fucking shove more ape up our ass. There's not even a zoo big enough to hold all these fucking apes. But no worries, chicken apocalypse might give us what we need before the 27th. So, giant love, motherfuckers. I'm gonna take a shower and go to sleep. I can't fuck with this stuff anymore. I get my blood pressure is going up. I feel like going outside and punching somebody. It looks like I'm gonna go. Let me just stop. Can't be that way. I'm trying to be a new me. Love you, motherfuckers. I'll talk to you tomorrow.